Every morning you have a decision to make. Will you wake up and drift into another day of distraction, or will you rise with intention, power, and purpose? Most people wake up reacting to their phone, to the world, to the noise. But champions, leaders, game changers, they prime themselves. They command their mind before the world tries to. Because the first words you speak each morning, they shape your focus, they trigger your emotions, they direct your destiny. Your language is not just communication, it's creation. And when you speak with emotion, with energy, with belief, you don't just feel different, you become different. That's what this is about. 11 phrases, not just words, weapons, tools, anchors, rituals. Say them every morning, not as a routine, but as a declaration. Say them until your mind believes it, until your body feels it, until your life reflects it. This isn't positive thinking. This is psychological conditioning, identity transformation. This is how you shift from wishing to owning, from hoping to becoming. Say these 11 phrases every morning and watch your life change from the inside out. Your words shape your identity. Most people don't understand the magnitude of that truth. They speak without awareness, without intention, and then they wonder why their life feels out of alignment, why they're stuck in the same cycles, why success keeps slipping through their fingers. The language you use every day is not just describing your life, it's defining it. It's constructing the boundaries of who you believe you are and what you believe is possible for you. Every phrase you repeat becomes a thread in the fabric of your identity. And eventually that identity becomes the ceiling you can't break through, or the rocket that launches you into a new level of existence. When you wake up in the morning and the first thing you say is, I'm tired, I'm not ready, or this day is going to be hard, you're not just making observations, you're casting spells. You're wiring your brain and your nervous system to experience fatigue, resistance, and stress. You're teaching your mind what to focus on, and where focus goes, energy flows. Now imagine the shift if you woke up and instead said, I am powerful, I am focused, I am ready for anything today brings. These are not just motivational affirmations. They are declarations of identity. They are commands to your brain. They are signals to your nervous system that it's time to rise, to show up, to perform. And when repeated with emotional intensity and certainty, they don't just lift your mood, they rewrite your mental script. You've got to understand something. Identity is not fixed. It's not who you are. It's who you've been conditioned to believe you are. And that conditioning has come from years of repeated language, repeated emotions, repeated stories. I'm just not good with people. I've never been confident. I always mess things up. Every time you say something like that, you reinforce a part of your personality that limits your potential. You give power to a false version of yourself, and eventually that false self runs your entire life. But the moment you become conscious of your words, the moment you interrupt the old pattern and replace it with intentional language, you start to reclaim your power. You stop living by default and you start living by design. When you say something out loud, especially with emotional force, you're not just expressing something, you're imprinting it. The brain responds to repetition and emotion. It learns through what you feel and what you focus on. So if you want to reshape your beliefs, if you want to become someone who is unstoppable, unshakable, and confident in every area of life, you start by changing the language that defines who you are, and you do it daily. Because repetition is the mother of skill. Consistency is what forges identity. This is why these 11 phrases matter, because they aren't random words. They're carefully crafted to install the beliefs that serve your highest self. They're built to align your internal dialogue with the outcomes you desire. They are tools of transformation, but they only work when you engage with them fully, with energy, with movement, with purpose. If you mumble them, if you say them without heart, they don't penetrate, they don't land. But if you speak them like your life depends on it, because in a very real way, it does, then you're programming yourself to win. You're building a new foundation from which every decision, every action, and every result will flow. Most people are passive about their self-talk. They think the mind just talks and they have to listen. But you can direct the conversation. You can override the negativity, the doubt, the fear, not by arguing with it, but by overwhelming it with conviction. Language is power when it comes from a place of certainty. The moment you realize that your words can shift your identity, you begin to use them intentionally, deliberately, relentlessly. You begin to plant the seeds of greatness every single day. And the more you do it, the more natural it becomes. This is the shift from accidental language to intentional language, from describing your past to designing your future, from being a passive listener of old patterns to being an active creator of new ones. When you say, I am confident, even if you don't fully believe it yet, you are taking the first step toward becoming it. When you say, I attract abundance, even when your bank account says otherwise, you are choosing the identity of someone who no longer tolerates scarcity. When you say, I am unstoppable, you're not pretending, you're training, you're developing a psychological edge, because repetition of powerful language creates new neural pathways. It changes your biochemistry. It shifts your posture, your tone, your energy. It rewires you from the inside out. You don't get the identity you want just by wishing for it. You get it by speaking it, living it, breathing it, conditioning it every single morning. You speak the identity until it becomes your reality. That's what this practice is about. It's not just motivational noise. It's a ritual of reinforcement, a daily declaration of who you are and who you're becoming. And once you commit to it, once you make it a non-negotiable part of your morning, you'll start noticing something powerful. Your beliefs begin to shift, your behaviors start to follow, and your results begin to rise. Not because the world changed, but because you did. And it all started with the words you chose to say the moment you woke up. It's not just about the words, it's about how you say them. Emotion plus repetition equals lasting change. That's the formula. That's the secret most people miss. You can read a list of empowering phrases, you can even memorize them. But if you say them with a flat tone, if you speak them without intensity, without belief, without engagement, they will not penetrate. They won't make a dent in your nervous system. But the moment you combine those words with raw emotion, when you put your body into it, your voice, your energy, everything begins to change. That's when transformation happens. Because your nervous system doesn't respond to words alone. It responds to feeling, it responds to energy. And when you say something with passion, with conviction, you're not just repeating, you're conditioning. Conditioning is everything. You're conditioning your nervous system every single day, whether you know it or not. The question is, are you conditioning it on purpose? Or are you letting your emotions, your doubts, your environment condition it for you? If you wake up and say, I'm tired, over and over again, with a tone of defeat, your body listens, it starts to feel heavy, your brain slows down, your physiology matches the words. But when you wake up and say, I feel strong today, I am powerful, I am focused, I am unstoppable, and you say it with intensity, you breathe it, you move your body as you speak it, you feel alive, you feel driven, you feel ready. That's not magic, that's science. Your physiology is directly linked to your language. The words you speak shape your focus. But the way you speak them determines how deeply they're imprinted into your nervous system. That's why people can repeat affirmations for years and still feel stuck, because they're saying them without feeling. They're going through the motions. They say it like it's a chore. But when you add emotion, when you repeat with energy, with certainty, with fire in your voice, you create a new emotional experience. And emotion is what makes it real. Think about it. How do we form beliefs? Through experiences that had a strong emotional charge. The moments in life that shaped you the most weren't necessarily the most logical. They were the most emotional. The time someone criticized you in front of others. The moment you failed and felt humiliated. The moment someone you trusted let you down. Those moments stuck because they were filled with emotion. They weren't just thoughts, they were feelings. That's what made them powerful. And the same rule applies in reverse. If you want to create a new belief, if you want to embed a new identity, you have to charge it with emotion. You have to fire it into your system over and over again until it becomes automatic. So when you speak these 11 phrases every morning, don't just read them. Don't say them like you're reading a grocery list. Say them like your life depends on it. Say them while standing tall with your shoulders back, your chest up, your breath deep. Move your body as you speak. Raise your voice. Look in the mirror. Look into your own eyes and declare the truth of who you're becoming. Because when your body aligns with your language, when your movement supports your message, the belief begins to hardwire. You begin to feel it. You begin to own it. And once you feel it, you don't need to try anymore. It becomes you. This is how you reprogram your subconscious. Not with silent hope, but with massive repetition and elevated emotion. That's the same way limiting beliefs were installed in the first place. Repeated messages charged with fear or pain, but now you get to reverse it. You get to install empowering beliefs using the same mechanism. Repetition, emotion, certainty, over and over, until there's no room left for the old story. There's a difference between saying, I am confident once a week and saying it every single morning with emotional fire. There's a difference between reading a phrase and owning it in your soul. That difference is what separates people who talk about change from those who actually live it. If you want to create a life on your terms, you've got to condition yourself for it. You've got to wire your nervous system to feel it before it shows up. You don't wait for results to believe. You believe until the results can't help but follow, and you build that belief every morning through emotional, repeated physical declaration. This is your training. This is your ritual, and rituals build character. Rituals shape identity. This is not a one-time thing. This is daily mental weightlifting. This is how you strengthen the muscle of belief. The more you repeat these phrases with energy, the more you'll start to notice subtle shifts. You'll walk differently, speak differently, think more clearly. You'll take action more boldly because you're no longer hoping to become confident. You are confident. You've rehearsed it so many times, your brain starts to default to it. Emotion and repetition. That's your key to unlocking permanent change. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. You don't need to believe 100% at first, but you need to say it like you do. You need to show up like you mean it. Because that intensity will start to convince your subconscious mind that this new identity is not only possible, it's already happening. And once your mind believes it, your life begins to follow. All because you didn't just say the right words, you lived them. You breathed them. You burned them into your system. That's how real transformation begins, with the way you speak to yourself and the energy you bring to every single word. Language is a trigger. It's the spark that ignites your emotional state, the fuel that drives your focus, the invisible hand that steers the direction of your day. Most people never stop to think about it, but the words they use, the ones they repeat silently, and the ones they speak out loud, are programming their brain to either see possibility or problems, solutions or setbacks, opportunity or overwhelm. That's the power of language. It's not just sound. It's a tool of influence, a lever for your emotions, a filter for your reality. The right words, spoken in the right way, at the right time, can pull you out of a slump, energize your body, focus your mind, and reignite your sense of purpose. And the wrong words, spoken casually, unconsciously, can drain you, distract you, and derail your momentum without you even realizing it. When you say something like, this is going to be a long day, your brain immediately starts to filter the world through that statement. It looks for evidence to confirm it. Your energy drops. Your attention narrows. You notice every inconvenience, every slow moment, every frustration. You feel heavier, not because the day changed, but because your language changed your perception. On the flip side, when you wake up and say, I'm excited for today, or something great is going to happen, you give your brain a different set of instructions. Now it's scanning for possibility. It's searching for moments of joy, breakthroughs, and opportunities. You feel lighter, more engaged, more alive. Again, nothing outside of you changed, but your language changed your experience. Language is how we direct our internal GPS. It's the command system for your brain. And when you wake up and start your day with intentional, empowering phrases that evoke strength, clarity, gratitude, courage, purpose, you activate a part of your brain that looks for things that align with those states. You become more solution-oriented, more resilient, more focused, more magnetic. You see things other people miss. You take action when others hesitate because your language isn't leading you into fear or fatigue, it's pulling you into your power. This is why these 11 phrases matter. Each one is a trigger, a psychological switch. They're not just nice things to say, they're tools to rewire your focus. Some phrases ignite gratitude, which immediately shifts your chemistry. Gratitude lowers stress hormones, boosts your immune system, opens up your mind to creative ideas. Some phrases awaken your drive, reminding you that you are built for more, that you are capable, that you are not a product of your past, but a creator of your future. Some phrases install calm and presence, anchoring you in this moment so you don't get swept away by anxiety or overwhelm. Each phrase serves a purpose: to steer your emotions, to guide your focus, to fuel your decisions. And here's the truth. Your life is a reflection of where your focus goes. If you focus on what's missing, what's wrong, what's broken, you'll feel depleted, frustrated, paralyzed. But if you focus on what's possible, what's within your control, what's exciting, you start to move differently. You speak differently. You show up with more energy. You begin to create momentum, not because life suddenly got easier, but because you're directing your energy differently through your language. That's the game. That's the shift. Most people let their focus be determined by external circumstances. They wait to see how the day unfolds. They wait to hear bad news before they feel bad, or good news before they allow themselves to feel good. But winners, those who lead, those who perform at a high level, they don't wait. They create. They set the tone from the start. They speak with intention, to command their mind, to shift their focus, to choose their emotional state before the world tries to choose it for them. So when you wake up, you don't just speak these phrases casually. You speak them like a commander giving orders to your army, because that's what your language is doing. Giving orders to your brain, your body, your emotions. You're telling yourself what to focus on, and your mind, like a loyal soldier, follows that command. And over time, those commands become default. You begin to habitually focus on what drives you. You begin to naturally ignore distractions. You become someone who wakes up already tuned into strength, already connected to your purpose, already radiating energy that others can feel. This is why it's so powerful to repeat the same empowering language every day, because repetition builds instinct. You want these phrases to be automatic, to become part of your internal vocabulary. So when adversity shows up, your first thought isn't fear, it's I can handle this. When doubt creeps in, your automatic response isn't hesitation, it's I've got this. That's the power of language as a trigger. It doesn't just motivate you in the moment. It trains you to become someone new, someone who operates from belief, from strength. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your standards. And the fastest way to raise your standards is to raise your language. Speak like the person you want to become. Focus like the person who doesn't back down. Prime your mind for power every single day with words that move you forward, fuel your spirit, and train your focus. That's how change begins. Not by hoping for better days, but by speaking your way into a better state and letting that state drive better decisions, which ultimately creates a better life. Prime yourself before the world conditions you. That's the single most important habit you can build if you want to take control of your life. Because the world is loud, chaotic, and relentless. It's full of distractions, fear, judgment, and negativity. And if you don't train your mind first thing in the morning, the world will train it for you. You'll start the day already behind. You'll be reacting instead of creating. You'll be absorbing stress